Good afternoon. Welcome to BNN Bloomberg's special coverage of the federal government's fall economic update. I'm John Ehrlich. Nice to have you with us. In the next few minutes, we are expecting the Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland, to share a fresh outlook with Canadians. A boom in our commodity sector has helped to improve the country's finances over the course of the year, and we'll likely see that reflected in the new estimate for this year's deficit. But that boost could likely be short-lived as Canada's economy is quickly cooling down. And for Freeland, any commitments to new spending will likely get a thumbs down from Bay Street, considering the ongoing fight against inflation, a big problem that is impacting all Canadians. If the Bank of Canada is raising interest rates to curb high prices, can the Finance Minister afford to be out of sync with our central bank? Well, coming up, we will explore that theme and bring you all of the breaking news. Our BNN Bloomberg reporters are ready to go. We'll get insight from the former parliamentary budget officer and the head of the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. And for the next hour, we'll be joined by two special contributors. McLellan is the former Deputy Prime Minister and a longtime board member in this country. She's also a senior advisor at Bennet Jones. And Sean Speer served as an economic advisor to former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Sean is a fellow with the Public Policy Forum and the editor-at-large for The Hub. Welcome to both of you. And I want to start with you as we get ready for this update and your expectations for today.
Affordability seems to be the watchword. She can't ignore that, but at the same time, she cannot fuel inflation. So you've seen this government do some targeted things already. I think she'll probably have a handful of targeted measures to try and help those most in need. But she's also got to be, I think, pivoting to that longer term economic growth strategy. She's got to be sending some signals to investors out there in terms of where this government is going and who they're going to be there to help in terms of long-term economic growth.
All right, Sean Speer, let me bring you into the conversation. I have a sense I know what fiscally you're going to be talking about today. You know, the idea of anything new in terms of spending. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, let me just pick up what Ann said. I think the government needs to be very careful not to make the job of the Bank of Canada any more difficult in terms of bringing inflation under control. But inflation is having another kind of impact on Ottawa's budget, John, and that is on the revenue side. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Parliamentary Budget Office produced its own economic and fiscal outlook. And what's fascinating is in the PBO's analysis, revenue is projected to grow by $160 billion over the next 6 years. And about half of that, the PBO attributes to stronger than expected inflation. And so, you know, the government may indeed claim that it's making progress on the deficit, and try to present itself as more concerned about so-called fiscal discipline. But I suspect what the opposition parties, markets, and ordinary Canadians will be looking at is the relative work that inflation's doing to actually improve Ottawa's bottom line.
And whenever we cover whether it's the budget or an economic update, there are some very real numbers attached to these storylines. Sometimes, though, it feels a little bit more like political theater, but this feels different. Just the sense that right now, given where the global economy is, and heck, we just saw a great example in the UK as we keep tabs on the House of Commons and the finance minister's unveiling of this economic update. This feels different, Anne, just in terms of the need to have coordination between central banks that are boosting interest rates to fight inflation, and governments that play a role in that inflationary story.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, there's no question that governments around the world, including our own, contributed to inflation because they pumped an awful lot of money during COVID into the Canadian economy, into people's pockets. And I don't think anybody would disagree that it was needed for quite considerable time. But we also have to acknowledge that, in fact, that did help fuel inflation. And now the Bank of Canada, whether they were too slow dealing with it, as were other banks around the world, I think that's ridiculous to spend any time talking about that now. We have to deal with the reality of the situation, and that's what the Bank of Canada is doing. But yeah, Chrystia Freeland has signaled that this is a different moment, if you like, in time. She's signaling now that there probably will be a short and hopefully not particularly damaging recession.